Hi all, Baines here again from BSA Bantams. Welcome back to the workshop, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I am going to do the tuned exhaust for this Sellicks Beach race bike. So, I think I've mentioned it in other videos that I have taken the pattern of all the cone shapes into a local sheet metal place. They've processed it through a computer program to give me segments to be able to bend. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is doing a mock-up out of cardboard to get my orientation right. All the parts are actually cut out, so we'll go over the bench and I'll show you where we're up to and what we've got initially. So over here are all the water jet cut stainless steel pieces for all of these here. So that's the segmented pieces from the design. So what I'm going to do now is overlay those over a thin sheet of cardboard, start cutting them out. Then that way I can start mocking up on the bike the position of all these segments. So Glenn's done a really good job because he's actually numbered absolutely every segment and also on the metal ones. So it makes life so much easier. So I'll just cut out now and transpose all these onto the cardboard. I passed kindergarten, so I should be able to do the cut and paste bit, so I'm pretty happy. So we're getting through it, just a little bit, not painstaking, I just want to do it accurately. And the reason for that is you think about when you do the pipe, if you're half a millimetre out, less than half a millimetre out per segment, and you've got 30, or probably more, so you've got 30, well we'll call it 30 segments, well you're 15 mil out. That changes the whole dynamic of how your pipe actually works. So the other interesting thing was, last time I used my TIG welder, I don't know, it wasn't as working as well as advertised, so I might have an issue with my welder. So it might be time to go out and buy a new one with a foot pedal control and all that sort of stuff, because I haven't got it and I may need it to do this job, but we'll wait and see. So there's all our cardboard templates made up. And it's just now a matter of transferring these all over to the bike, and we'll start seeing how we go building it up. Oh, there's a bit of shit all over here, isn't there? So I think I've showed you this in a previous video. So this is a 3D printed stub to mimic the machined stub I will turn up to act as the flange face to go against the barrel outlet flange face. So when you're doing your tuned pipe, you've got to take that measurement into account, and I have stuffed up before calculating tuned pipes because it takes it from and measured from the face, but you need, that's where you start calculating the pipe out. So, and it's the measurement from the face of the piston to where this starts. So that way my pipe can start from here a bit better. Gives me, I'll machine that up because it gives me something obviously sturdier to start the pipe and weld it up. So let's start getting some segments over and start playing. So fortuitously, Glenn has numbered every segment, so I know where to start and where to head off. So what I'm basically going to do is do a loop down and then start heading up and around the back. That's the theory. That's the theory, and you'll soon see how that theory goes. So we are getting there. It's just a matter of, what I've been doing is building up each stage or each segment So that's segment number 3. The seam runs, we're trying to get it to run on the inside, and we're actually starting to take shape. And pleasingly enough, I think we're starting to take shape pretty well. I'm going to get the other segments made up and just have a look and see how it's all panning out. So I've only got segments 1 and 2 taped together, 3 and 4 are still positioning around, but it certainly doesn't look disastrous so far, but we'll see. All right. Things aren't working out the way I wanted to, in a nutshell. So this section here, I was originally going to try and poke it through there and then sort of turn the last taper around the corner, but it's just really not going to work out, because by the time I get up to here to try and turn it, you're in the this is the parallel section here. So you got your reverse cone off here, and so I've really got to be, turn it that far, which is just too much. So I am just, the pipe's sort of going to have to go something along the lines of this out the side. It's a fairly big pipe, so actually that's something I never thought of. I'll bring it back later. I might poke that around the other side to bring this in a bit closer to the engine and rotate it up a bit. That might work. We'll see how we go. So I've decided to route the exhaust around the other side, just see how it looks. I've thrown the body back on. I actually think it's going to be better there. This is obviously, I'm trying to do this handheld. This will obviously be picked up a bit because I've got like the stud coming off the frame there, so it's a perfect spot for an engine mount. Clearance to the head I think will be right. You can reach in and still get your choke lever down in there, and you're not going to be reaching in while it's hot to put your choke on because the thing's already warmed up. Got another 2 little segments to come out here, then you'd have a stinger hanging off here. So I can go back and actually, and I will. I think I'll rotate this around just for aesthetics, just to try and get like the stinger and I think I'll end up putting a muffler on it. Sort of parallel with the shape of the bike. Obviously I've got to, the other thing too is that the side cover that I put on here, like it can cover that exhaust and act as a heat shield as well, which it probably needs to do. And interestingly enough, when Chris Strawn and his dad Alan sent me all the pictures of the Bultaco Matisse that they've got, the engine pipe actually comes a lot lower down here and comes up in a real angle like that, with the side cover actually covering it as well. So I think that's going to be the way to go. And fabrication wise it might be a bit easier. The only, not a real bad issue, that the inside seam will be facing out. But yeah, that's looking a bit better. I'll see how we go, but we can't sort of tuck that area in anymore because I've got to have clearance between the head. You can see that there's a choke lever in there, but it does curve around nicely inside. Still gives me access to this mounting stud off the frame there, which would support the back of the pipe, and that's sticking out a little bit there. I mean, your stinger's got to come off here, so you'd have an exhaust somewhere. You'd have an exhaust somewhere there. That's just dropped down, so that needs to sort of come up a bit more. So it's sagging over there. Look, See on the front, but you get the general gist. Just a little bit of light maintenance on the Harley. I dropped the bottom end on it, so new bottom end, all going back together nicely. And then we'll be back onto this one. So our rollers are set up, ready to go. There's all our segments. The only segment I haven't got in there is the parallel one, because I'm going to cut that out. There's no point in laser cutting that, because I can cut it out myself. So we'll get to and we'll start rolling these. So what I'm doing here is starting to roll on the segments. So obviously this is a roller machine. If you're not sure how these work, this roller at the back is adjustable. So you've got two rollers that these go through, and the back one lifts up, keeps lifting up to roll this tighter and tighter. So now I'll just give it a tweak, and it's just steady as she goes, just keep adjusting it up. The saving grace is I'm using stainless, which is as soft as butter. So, and feel free to comment if you want and tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not. Stainless is far more ductile than mild steel. That's why I never use it for bolts. Its tensile strength is crap. But anyway, each to their own. So, anyway, we keep adjusting, we keep rolling, we keep adjusting, we keep rolling until we get it obviously into a full circle. Now the other thing is, these are tapered. So when I get to the end, you can see it just trying to roll a bit of a twist in it. When I get to the end, I'll actually tap it back sort of square. So when the two ends line up, they're actually line up with each other. But I'll bring it back in a sec when we're getting close. You get there. So I'm getting down to nearly got it round, but you can see that it's gone off like that. So what I do is I just tap it back straight. So a bit of half and half. And the reason for why I have to do that is because this is a taper. It's actually tapered. So so we're getting close. Rightio. So I want it rolled around a bit more. So I am going to give it a bit of a love tap while it's in here. We're getting close now. Ooh. Bit of a tweak. Bit more of a tweak. Bit more of a tweak. Rightio, so basically done. So case of taking the roller out, sliding that off, and there's your segment. Now, as I said, these are tapered. So I'll show you what I'll do next. So when it comes time to tack weld these together, what I'll do is chuck a hose clamp on it, crank it up, and that gives me enough pressure to pull that joint in. So that's pulled it up. Now it's pulled it a tiny bit out around, and it'll just be a matter of hammering the weld out. But I can set the, I mean that's flush now, that's bloody shit hot. So I can get a tack weld on there. I can put it on a mandrel because the plates are just sitting sort of like that. That's exaggerated, but I mean, I'm talking a 1/4 mil out. I can just put a mandrel in the vise, just tap it flat, tack weld it, and then I can start joining the segments together. But it's really round, and I'll put verniers over it and tap it so they're perfectly round, so they all marry up to each other properly. But I'm so glad I got a mortar cut, because all the indications are looking like this is going to be a bloody beautiful fit without any sort of limishing or anything like that. So anyway, we'll keep going. I've only got what, 4, 8, 16, 20, I've only got 25 to go. It's a bit throatier than a Bantam. So as you just saw, Harley went back together, not without a couple of minor challenges, but nothing over the top. We had a couple of minor oil leaks at the end, but one of them's mainly might be still persistent, and that's one of the push rod tubes, the seal at the bottom. I don't reckon they were a really good fit, so I'll wait and see. I think I pulled it off, had a bit of a play with it, and put it back on. Doesn't seem to be really leaking a lot, but it might be after a run. Now, I haven't taken the bike out for a road run yet. We've just, and the reason for that is my driveway has currently been shredded by a machine. So we're getting our driveway done, like all new gravel and everything like that. So the guys have been at it all day, because our driveway is 300 metres long, I might add. So a bit more gravel on that and get the potholes out of it and get that. So I've got loose gravel everywhere. I'm not about to go riding down the road. I'll wait till the weekend to take the bike out for a run. Right, so I'm back onto the tuned pipe. So how did I come about the sizes and everything like that? Well, I have a computer program that calculates it out. And I also used a mob in the UK called TalkSoft. I used some of their programs, but I sent in all my data and got them to just verify what they came up with the pipe design as what I came up with. So that then led to the different cones, their small diameter, their big diameter, and their length. And so with those cone sizes, we can then calculate out our segments after we find out how we're going to bend it and do everything like that. So that's how I came about finding out what I needed. Now, I'm not going to go into depth about two-stroke pipe design, because it's a dark science. That's why you have computer programs. But there's plenty of stuff on the net to describe and let you know how they actually work. And if you don't know, it's well worth having a look, because I mean, obviously the original technology was taken from the Germans in World War II with pulse jet technology, Walter Caden. So that's why all the Eastern Bloc two-strokes were light years ahead of anything that the West was making, until Ernst Stegner stole the technology, gave it to Suzuki, and the rest is history. So hopefully this pipe design is all right for this bike. So, because you just can't pluck a design out of your bum. It's got to be in relation to a whole range of stuff, your ports, port timing, bore diameter, straight length, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully this one will work. I'm pretty confident. It'll be better than a Bantam fishtail pipe, put it that way. Right, so now we're getting up into the bigger sections. So, and these have really got a pretty not aggressive taper, but they have a taper on them. So in order to maintain a consistent taper and have these two edges roll back together, you sort of just start, roll a bit, tap it, roll a bit more, tap. And by the time you come out to this edge, it should be like square with there. Like that. So you just got to keep working it around, but you can sort of see the tapered edge on that. So we've done one. Oh, that one. So I think you can sort of see that, how tapered that is, and the joint's pretty close. I'll put a hose clamp around that to pull them up to TIG weld up. Keep going. So what we're up to now, obviously, is welding up all the segments. I'm just tack welding them together, rolling them over. You can see I've got a hose clamp to pull them, then be able to manipulate the joint so I've got a nice flat joint. They're sitting nice, so when they all start marrying up, things actually line up. So an issue that I have is that this is just a lift TIG. So if you don't understand what that is, you've got to actually strike an arc to get it to weld. You haven't got a foot pedal to strike the arc. So getting post-purge on this is a little bit difficult because you've got to lift the arc off, and as you're lifting the arc off, you're actually taking your gas away. So by rights, I should be really welding it with a pedal control, but I'll see how I go. So here we are at the bike, and we have started fitting up our pieces all together. Now we've come out this side. The reason why, once I tacked everything up and got all the slop out, you can't really get around that tube without the front tyre potentially fouling the exhaust. So we've come back out this way, and it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy actually. So I'll be able to access this up here as our mount, which will be even better, because ideally what I want is the ability for as the exhaust expands, is to be able to move, because we're going to have it anchored here with the nut, you know, on normal sort of two strokes. I've got the springs and the sliding spigot piece here. I'll have it like a slot in the mount so it can go there. So not a bad day's work. We decided to shut it down halfway through the day. It's 22 degrees. So we went for a ride, took the Harley out for a ride, a couple of minor oil leaks, or one mainly, on a pushrod tube, which they're a little bit notorious for, but other than that, not an issue. Went really well. It's good to get it back on the old girl. Forgot how heavy they are. Forgot how they're not as comfortable as my Himalayan, I'll tell you. But anyway, that was our paper template, and that's it. Yeah, I think 4 segments, 1, 2, 3. That's the first 4 tapers just tacked together. So I have to turn up the adapter to go in here, and that'll obviously fit there like that. But it's progressing all right. So got a bit more done today, but I decided to go out for a run with the board, like my two stepsons. So we had 3 bikes out, did 200k ride today. It's 25 degrees today, first sort of mid 20s day we've had it in probably since April. So it's absolutely glorious day. You don't sit in the workshop when you've got a day like that. So time to have a ride. I took the Harley to put a bit more run time on it. I had a push rod tube seal leak. I fixed that one, but I've got another one that's developed, which is a little bit notorious for it, but I'll get it fixed. Other than that, went like an absolute dream. So where are we at with the exhaust? So I might just turn you around a little bit. I might come out of... So I've basically got all the segments tack welded together all the way up to here. So just excuse me for a minute, just so I can see what's happening. Right, so if I get out of the way a bit, so you can see most of it. We're welded up to here. This is the last segment that's been tack welded on. Yes, I think I explained that we've come around this side, which is the original side. I had originally envisaged it to go through here, but I couldn't get the turn quite right, and then coming around the back with a bit of a pain, so we've opted for this. Now it's a little bit close to the gear change lever for travel, but I'll just dogleg this out. So I've probably got 15 millimeters for this to come out, and it'd fully clear the exhaust. I may put a little heat shield thing there for my foot if it starts kissing it, but we'll work that out down the track. So up this end, I'm just having a bit of a final play, and I'm pretty happy because that's the stinger there, and we'll have a bit of a muffler on the end of that, so which will come up to about there. Hopefully you can see that. We'll just check that. Sorry guys. Right, I'm going to turn that around. My apologies. We'll have another go. So I'll have like the stinger coming out here, and I will put a bit of a muffler on this, but the actual fit and shape and everything I'm actually really happy with. So I might admit there's once I get it all tacked up, there's probably more than a day's welding in there, but anyway, it's working, so we're going really well. So tomorrow it'll be tackle these segments up at the end. This gives me access to a bolt hole here on the frame, so that I can have a sliding mount fitted there. So I've already obviously machined up down there the actual boss that starts it all off. So yeah, no, I'm pretty happy so far. So tomorrow we'll get into it a bit more. So we now have the pipe fully tack welded, and I'll just move the camera and we'll have a look at some stuff. So I am pretty happy with the way it has turned out. As you can see, we've got good clearance there between the shocky. Be able to easily pick up this mount to here. This will be a sliding mount as the pipe expands. And we've got good clearance here. I'll just get over here. I mean, looking down from here, you can see that the gear change lever is sticking out, but I probably wanted a bit more. You know, don't probably. This isn't all the way home. It's probably got another 10 mil to go. So by the time that goes in another 10 mil, I'll probably, you know, I want the actual lever probably sitting out here. The reason I had to do the exhaust, because I've got to do the side covers as well. So I will do a fiberglass side cover, and I'll have to put some heat shielding in there. I may have to put some heat shielding down here because your foot pegs are run about here in this line here, so I might get some, well, not might, I'll get some heat off there, but whether it's uncomfortable or anything like that, I'll have to wait and see. Now what I've got to do is just set up the weld bench with, you know, second regulator. I need to put purges up the end when I start fully welding this up, and I will also put a piece of wood on my weld bench so I'm not impregnating any of the joins with any debris or any grinding stuff from mild steel which can contaminate the welds. So this will be a big one. You know, I'd reckon there's more than a day's work in tigging that up, but we'll get into it. So this is our welding setup. Right here, and the hose going off over to there is the purge, argon purge through the pipe. And here's what we've achieved so far today. I'm nearly out of argon, so the bottle's just, well, the needle's on the stop, so I'm not going to risk it anymore. I'll go and get another bottle tomorrow. But so far so good. Pretty happy. Okay, so we're into it for another day. Welding bench there, no exhaust on it. It's on the bike, so we'll show you what I'm up to right now. Okay, muffler time. I'll just move the grinder out of the way. So I'm making a muffler to go on the end, and over here in the lathe I'm just machining up the end caps for it. So we've got I think about 1 millimetre to come off that diameter. So there's 2 plates there obviously bolted together. What I'm going to do is, because the muffler tube is pretty thin wall, I'm going to machine a shoulder in this, and then I will weld these to the smaller diameter tube, put the end cap on the other end, weld it on, and have no weld around here. I'm just a little bit concerned because it's that thin about burning the edge of the this tube away, because I don't know. I'm trying to think of what wall thickness it is. Oh, that's thin. No, it might be 1 millimetre. I might be all right, but I just think it'll look neater. So in this bit here, obviously you've got to drill a heap of holes. That's got to be packed with fiberglass matting and possibly exhaust blanket. So we'll keep progressing this. So end cap's machined up. So what I'll do is I'll just run a bead of weld around in there on either side. These have got shoulders on them. Oh, might not be able to get them out. Well, I'll be able to get them out. I'm just got to tap them out like that. So these have got a shoulder on them that fits inside the internal diameter of the actual muffler. So that's worked out well. Now I've just got to start drilling a fair few holes in here. So what I think I'll do, the easiest way to do this might be to set up the indexing head in the milling machine, I think. Okay, so what I'm doing here is obviously drilling out the inner tube for the muffler. So we've got it obviously set up in the indexing head, bit of support up the end, and we're just offsetting it by 45 degrees at a time. I think I'll go one more row after this. You can probably see the texture marks there and there. That's where the actual can will fit. So then I have to go through and deburr all this. I think getting up the middle might be a bit of a challenge with a rat tail file, but done. Time to do some indexing. So we only want 45 degrees this time. 30, 45. Unlock this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Change it out for the center drill. And we've got the next ones underway. And that's all our muffler pieces prepped out, ready to be welded together. So next job involves these two. I shall look at the things I've machined up. And over here on the milling machine involves milling a slot in here. So this is going to be my expansion joint. But we'll get into it. And we'll have a look at the end once I've got a slot in it. Alright, this is our, I'll try and get in there. This is our sliding mount. So it'll sort of be positioned something like that, attached to the pipe. So when the pipe expands, the whole mount can move, because as I've said before, it's anchored down here. Now, if you see that little bit of movement in the pipe, that's all these joints down here that I haven't welded, being able to open and close a little bit because they're only tacked. So from here I'm going to finish fully welding the last sections, and then we'll be in a position to be able to find out where the natural set of the pipe actually sits, unloaded, to be able to fit up that sliding mount. Be able to get that in there a bit more like, yeah. And then we'll weld up the stinger and get that on. Rightio, we've got it set up. Time to get back in and finish welding this now, excepting for the muffler, but I'll get that welded together as well. But purge up the middle again, so I'll get into it. So at the moment, my earth clamp's my greatest friend, because it's helping me position the pipe. And we're getting through it, we're going good. Turn the welder off for a sec. Alright, so our pipe is fully welded. It's just behind the camera, cooling down a bit. I have started on the muffler, silencer, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just about to start packing this, put the end cap on, and we'll weld it up. So I did cool it down a bit with water after I welded it, just to take the residual heat out of it. It wasn't that hot. It's not like quenching it from 800 degrees or anything ridiculous. Right, that's on. You see how long I've had this bag of stuff for, because it's just pulled open. Right. Let's get some of this jammed down there. So we are done now. So we're done all the way through. Stinger over there on the end. My bracket system, my sliding bracket, so with the expansion of the pipe it can go back. You'll see it's slightly on an angle, but the same sort of center line as this center section. So that expansion will go. So that's a slip joint. So it'll work really, really well. There's the stinger finished and on. So you walk around, so that's nice and straight with the line of the bike. I have good clearance down here like I can run my fingers through there between the primary cover and the exhaust. And this is like the natural position of the, oh, that was still a bit warm. This is the natural position of the pipe too, so I'm really, really happy. There's basically no preload on that whatsoever. So I clamped it right up there nice and tight, and I think I had to move this probably down about 1 millimetre, 2 millimetres, just to get this angle right here. But yeah, very happy. So that's it for this episode. So I really hope you really enjoyed this episode. There's a fair bit of work gone into that, as you can see. To all my subscribers, thank you very much for your ongoing support. We're still getting a trickle in, but it'd be always nice to have some more. So don't forget to hit like or subscribe. And next episode, now that I have this fitted, is how I'm going to work out how the side covers are going to look. Well, I've got to fabricate them, so they'll be out of fiberglass. They'll be out of fiberglass as well, but now I've got the exhaust, I can work around it. It'll act as a heat shield as well for my leg. So I think I'll have something sort of down around there and sort of flatter on the other side, but that's for the next episode. So from Bones at BSA Bantams, thanks very much and see you later.